Hello, can you see me? Hello? Do you remember the ghost told us that they're going next level with the customization and upgrading in Need for Speed Payback? They weren't joking. Let's jump right into it before we spend 10 minutes on the intro alone. They released a trailer. The trailer was good. It gave us a little clip of some gameplay, that kind of thing. Gameplay's always nice. In the trailer, we got reveals of 2, I believe, cars. I may miss some, but from what I can see, we have an AMG or an A-Class. Basically, we got another Mercedes, A-Class, I would assume, and then a Porsche of some kind, which looks like a Cayman. Not too sure because the wing throws me off a little bit. Not too sure what it is. So that's pretty much all there is to go based on the trailer. There is a lot of information to go through based on the articles, which goes along with the videos and goes along with the pictures. There's a lot. Alright, get this out of the way. Also, an F-Type screenshot got released and it looks absolutely insane. Can we just talk about the fact that this thing has a body kit? An F-Type with a body kit. Who's done that? Has anyone? Probably some YouTuber. Because there's so much information, we're actually going to split this video up into sections. So let's start with the first one. Live tuning. If you played 2015, tuning was available in that game. Was it perfect? No, but they've massively improved it in this game. I've personally experienced an early version of this, so I can say it has definitely improved. If you watch my post E3 content, we were talking about PlayStation Access. I think they had an interview and it was a live stream as well for the PlayStation side, and pretty much they explained that the tuning can now be done anywhere. So you could be driving along the road, bring up the tuning menu, tune on the fly, see how it plays, bring it up again, you know, get to perfectly fine-tune the car. Definitely helps. In the previous game, there was a slider for grip and drift. It's completely being redone in this game. You might remember there's different car classes. So these car classes pretty much change how the car handles overall. So the sliders allow you to adjust that specific area. So for example, you have a drift car, it's not going to be drift and drift. Well, it is, but there's going to be a lot of things you can change, but one of them, for example, in drift, you can change weight balance of drift car. So I assume that maybe that's the front and the back of the car. You can change which has more weight on it, how it slides, which I think is pretty cool. And then for the off-roading, they give an example of gear tuning. So I'm assuming long or short gears. Short gears would be good for picking up speed very quickly. Long gears would be better top speed, and it would be slower accelerates, but I don't know, it's a cool balance. But no matter what you do to the tuning, it always maintains the integrity of that set class, which is something it didn't do in the previous game, which is why it makes it so much different. I think that's probably a really good way to explain it, so I'm glad they did that. Thank you, Ghost. Theo, what about those performance parts? Diving into the performance parts, this is probably one of the bigger changes. I say that everything's bloody massive. This new system is much more strategic, and I think that's the best word to explain it. The easiest way for me to talk about it is to give you the basics, and you model up the idea in your head. Cars come with stock parts. There are 6 part categories: block, head, turbo, exhaust, ECU, and transmission. To obtain these parts, you can do a few things. First idea would be to win races. If you win races, you get a random part. Almost has that kind of RPG aspect to it, which actually I quite enjoy. You can buy upgrades from part shops. So like in older Need for Speed games, you had to go to a part shop and upgrade. You can do that now. Just like in the old Underground games, you actually drive to the specific parts dealer and you buy parts. Specific parts. It's great. These parts actually change and there's multiple part shops around the map, so maybe they have different stock. Anyway, the stock changes in these parts places, and that basically means each time you go in there, there's probably going to be different parts. Then the final way to get parts is by a targeted roll. So targeted roll, it pretty much have the gambling Las Vegas-y feel to it, and you pretty much recycle parts that you have to get a better part. It's almost like in Need for Speed No Limits. I think you could do something similar. Now, on every part there is a level, and the level is the most important aspect of it, and that's going to determine the biggest scale of how much the part impacts your car. The levels of the parts determine the tier of your car. There's 3 tiers from what I can see, and you see the bar across the top. This bar, I would assume, is tier 1, tier 2, 3, and depending on where along the bar it is the percentage or the extent of your upgrade. Fully level 1 part car is tier 1, and then level 18 parts is 3.99. And then to add on top of that, we've got perks. Now, perks come with parts. They're very random. For example, if you won a part, there might be a chance it has a perk on it. These perks give you numerous things. Bonuses such as top speed, acceleration, nitrous, air, and braking. Some special parts have multiple perks, and the parts also have brands or manufacturers, if you will. So equipping multiple of the same manufacturer also gives you a boost. The boost on that is determined what the company specializes in. So there's different types of company, and each one specializes in certain things. There was one called, I think it was called Americana. So that will give you a boost advantage for your race car. An example of one of these perks would be that an air perk allows you to very easily go across the mounds, like fly across. It makes your car lighter to get through the air easier. I think that's quite cool. Adding like perks into it, again, it makes it an overall RPG experience, and that's kind of what you want going forward with racing games. It not only introduces kind of almost a grind to get the next parts, which I like, getting your car to even more past perfection, just getting the perfect pieces that you need, and then crafting, say, the ultimate car that has 3 perks per special part, and it's just like, you could just make something so awesome, and it's going to take you a while to do it, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to if you don't want to, but the option is there. Vanity item customization. We've done tuning, we've done performance, and now we're on to vanity. So as you already know, in the visual customization of Need for Speed, you can already do body kits and wings and wheels and anything you fancy. It's insane. But vanity customization takes that to the next step. So we're talking about, for example, in the pre-order you may have seen, the tire smoke. So blue tire smoke is a pre-order bonus. You get that as a pre-order bonus, but there are going to be other colors that you can get on the tire smoke. Another one we've seen an example of is yesterday we saw a screenshot of the Golf, and that had an underglow, or neons if you will. That's an option too. You can get different colored neons for your car, and just, you know what? I want to get a bright pink car with a bright pink neon, and it's going to be amazing. But it doesn't stop there. You can also tune the color of your nitrous flame. I know. And finally, one of the vanity upgrade that was mentioned is air suspension. That's right, bags, if you will. So if you've seen those cars, the Stance, Nation cars, whatever, when they pull up, they go down. Like on Midnight Club LA had this feature where you would drive along, the car would just and just sit there. Chill. Makes the car look fantastic, and that's all it is. It's a vanity item. You don't necessarily need it, but it looks cool. But it also gives a practical balance, because if you want it to look cool, like slammed to the ground, you don't have to remove the ability for your car to actually drive properly. Dealerships, garages, and part shops. Another place to drive to, which I'm happy for, you have to drive to the dealers to unlock cars, or buy cars, should I say. The one dealer mentioned in the article is FVX Exotics, which you would assume sells supercars, exotic cars, if you will. Now, there's going to be dealers for many of the classes, and those go as classic, muscle, rally, sports, and sports compact. Each dealer specializes in certain cars, and you unlock the cars, as we know, throughout the game. As far as I'm aware, that was what they mentioned at E3. And as for the part shops, there's going to be multiple of those scattered around the map, so you don't have to go to one specific one. And maybe, as I said earlier, maybe each one will have different stock. Some people may ask, why do you need to buy parts from a part shop if you can unlock them by doing races? Well, the reason behind that is because if you want a specific part, then you go and buy it. You can buy that part, you just put the money down and you get that part. Whereas in races, it's random. So you get a random generated one, and you could keep doing that if you want to. You can play how you like. If you prefer to just, you've got the money, you just want to spend it and perfect your car quickly, just spend the money that you've earned doing races. Why not? You don't have to travel back to the garage to equip the part. You can actually equip the parts at the part shop right there if you wish to do that. So even if you just won a race, for example, and your race finishes outside a part shop, you can just stroll on in, install the parts, and on your way, mate, on your bike, in your car. On your bike. Garages work similar to how they did in 2015, but they've had some extra paybackness sprinkled onto them to allow you to do things that Payback needs you to do. Building up your derelicts, selling cars, all that kind of jazz goes on in there. In 2015, there was one garage, and you could have 5 cars, and then you could swap them out to the storage, which allowed you to have a total of like 10 cars, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but in this game, there's multiple garages. 5 garages, in fact, and if you purchase all of the garages, you unlock unlimited storage. So if that's your thing, go for it. But personally, I think I'm going to stick with 4, right? That's just me. But the cool thing is you actually have to buy these garages, which I'm really excited about. Having to actually buy these just adds another level again. It's slightly reminding me of a crossover of many games, and it's just based on what we've suggested as a community. All of this stuff is just... it's what I wanted. Gas stations are returning. In this game, they'll do the exact same as 2015, which is you drive through, repairs, and refills your NOS. Derelicts, that one. This is one of the bigger new features that was added to the game. You may not know much about it, but I'ma tell you. Pant's gonna tell you. The derelicts are cars that you have to build up, fix up, and make them next level, if you wish to do so. So you drive around the map looking for parts. You start off with a chassis of a vehicle, and that then goes into your garage, and then you can upgrade that over time by finding extra parts. Fix it up, if you will. Once you found all the parts available around the map, which actually, it gives you hints as to where those are on the map, which I think is quite cool, you can then make that car a stock car. pretty much takes it to the stock level, out of the factory, bang, there it is. Once you've done that, if you wanted to, you could sell it or you could upgrade it, whatever you fancy, but you can then rebuy that car from the dealer once you have made it. And you can take these to the next level. If you upgrade these to maximum, you have the option to take them to the insane level. These are known as super builds. You may have seen on the Volkswagen Bug at E3. You can change it to one of these absolutely insane monsters, and only the derelicts can do this. Pretty much unlocks extreme customization, and I think some of these are beyond ridiculous. Another advantage that these cars have over normal cars that you can buy, these cars do not have a limitation on what classes they can be in, so they can be in any class you wish, and the super builds are also going to reflect that, which I want to see some more super builds. We've seen the Volkswagen, and we've seen some of the off-road kind of screenshots you may have seen, the big crazy Bel Air. I want one. There's 5 derelicts, and they are the Chevrolet Bel Air 1955, the Ford Mustang 1965, Nissan Fairlady ZG 1971, Chevrolet C10 Stepside Pickup 1965, and the Volkswagen Beetle 1963. Oh my god, that's it. It's everything. That's everything from the article today. That's a lot of information. Honestly, I was not expecting this much information. I have explained to you in the quickest form possible. So if you want to have a proper full read, there's probably more information if you want to go check it out. I'll leave an article link down below. If it's from my site, then it means it's been written. Well, there's so much to talk about here, but we already knew about a lot of this stuff. For example, the performance shops, all that kind of thing. So much to talk about, but as you know, I am a die-hard Need for Speed fan, and I've been asking for things like this for the longest time. I've been asking for things like buying garages. I've been asking for things to drive to these special locations like the garages and the part shops, that kind of thing. We're going next level with everything. Neons, air suspension. These are things that I wanted in the future, but once they'd done the base stuff, which they've already done, and included the new stuff like tiers in cars, and they've just made this such a much more balanced game. When it comes to online, tiers are going to help massively. You can select a tier, I would imagine, for the races, to class for the races. There's no drift cars in a race event, or race cars in a drift event, or road cars in a race event. Yeah, it's just cleared everything up, and they seem to be ticking away box after box after box, and I'm loving it. Let me know down in the comments your absolute favorite thing from here, and I know it's difficult because there's so much in here that's just so awesome. If you think anything is actually missing from this list, let me know that as well. But other than that, guys, make sure to smash that subscribe button if you want to hear more about Need for Speed Payback. Be sure to leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.